Hey, what's up, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, and I am back for a video game review. Today I am going to be looking at this one, Xenoblade Chronicle X, a sequel to the original Xenoblade Chronicles that was released back on the Wii and recently re-released back on the new 3DS. The Wii one was originally released back in 2012. The 3DS one was recently released earlier this year. And the series has sort of an interesting little history, though. I mean, originally, the original Xenoblade Chronicles, was originally not supposed to come over here. I mean, at the time, Nintendo had NOA at least had no desire to bring it over, and this caused a backlash. That caused a major backlash, and I think people were pretty pissed at Nintendo about that at the time because it almost felt like they focused too much on the casual, not the hardcore market. Eventually, they did brought the game over, and it has sort of become sort of a hit among Nintendo fans. It's one of and for some RPG fans. So, and it basically did well that we eventually got a sequel. Eventually, I mean, it was re-released on the 3DS, and we got the sequel as well, or somewhat of a sequel. The story doesn't continue or anything like that, but and anyway, we're going to take a look at it and tell you what I think, what do I like, and what do I don't like. We'll start off with the pros first. I will say, in terms of visuals and graphics, the game looks really good. I'm serious. I mean, compared to the original Xenoblade that was released on the Wii and the 3DS, while there were certainly a lot of things that game made up for it, its visuals was one area where it was lacking, and this game definitely looks beautiful. It looks really, really good. Sometimes there are times when you want to stop and take a look at all of Mira, the planet that you're in, though. So, from a visual and graphic standpoint, it does look good. The next part I want to talk about is basically there's a lot of content in this game. Believe me, I'm early in the game. I think I'm at like a chapter 4 or something. I had to take a look, and there's still so much you could do in this game. I mean, there are times when it feels like you could go off the beaten path and do something else, like do some of the side missions that are available. Do some of the, explore some areas to find them as well. And there's like so much content. I mean, it will keep you busy, even if you're not jumping into the story right away, which I hear it's pretty long though, but there's enough content that it will keep you busy for a while though. Let's see, what else? And also I will say another area I like is that the music and the voice acting is pretty good. I mean, there are a lot of tunes that I felt that I liked in it. So some of the music from Exploring Mira and so on. So, and the voice acting is done very well. I mean, it's American. It sounds like it's pretty much an American voice acting, different from the English voice acting from Xenoblade Chronicles, but it is done very well. Some other things I will say is that the game does a good job with, another thing I want to point out, another pro I'm going to say, is the game actually does a very good job with the use of the gamepad, though. Ranging from, like from a map, it uses it pretty much like a map, but it also makes it easier to find certain things on it, too. It also serves as basically, like a fast travel, which, believe me, you will be using that a lot. It will come in handy, though. So you could point out certain fast travel things on the map, though. So that's very good as well, though. And finally, one area I will like to show you is, this will be part of the video, part of the review, is the combat. The combat's really fun. I mean, I like this new approach. I like the fact that the game, it's like your character automatically attacks, and then you use basically these things called arts. They're kind of like your special moves and all. I think it's best if I show you some of it, though. I think this will really help you. All right, I'll let you guys take a look at this and see how this works. So just take a quick look at it, though. All right. Alright folks, for this part, I wanted to do a quick showing of like the battle system and how it works and everything. So why don't I go into a battle and quickly show you what it can do, okay? And there's my character right here. Handsome fella. Alright, let me see if I can find an enemy to fight first. Oh, wait, we got a cutscene. Okay. Let's see.
Lynn, can you give us an approximate location for that IFF signal?
Let's see. Seems to be originating from that building over there.
Then we better get moving. There's no time to lose.
Alright, let's see if I can get you into a battle. Alright. Alright, there you guys see we have our arts. Basically, these are like special attacks, and these are what you have to rely on. Oh, here we go, we got a battle going. There we go. Now your character attacks automatically. There's no like, there's no command or anything. You push X to switch between different weapons and all. And you use one of your arts, but keep in mind, over time your arts do have to regenerate, so you gotta keep that in mind. There you go. Oh, there we go. Alright, sometimes the enemy drops something and you might get something out of it, so that's cool. And if you notice there's no MPs or anything like that, or HPs. Your health will regenerate over time. Right? So let me see if I can find another enemy. Alright, let's see if I can do that one right there.
I'm coming to you.
There we go. I think we got their attention. Alright. And hope that and that's a quick look at the battle system. So I do hope at least gives you guys some good ideas. Hold on. Alright, let me see if I can just do one more battle. One more enemy to deal with. Here we go. Let's see if we can try to do a couple more, just to give you an idea.
Let's keep it up.
Hard to do little battles.
Mr. Tied me over.
One other thing I want to show you guys. When you see one of these, you want to access it. Go. That should help us a bit. Alright, so hopefully this is a good example of the back. Hopefully some of this footage should help you with an idea what the battle system can do. And also, that concludes this part. Okay, so I hope that little video right there that you saw hopefully will at least give you some idea, at least basically how the combat is. Though, I mean, I hopefully it is, alright? Now that the pro part has got away, what are the cons? Well, having played the first one, there are some things I do and do not like. So, I mean, there are things I did like, but there are things I wasn't too fond of in the Xenoblade Chronicles X. So let's start with the first one. I mean, as I said before, the voice acting and the music is good. Don't get me wrong, it's really good though. That said, when compared to the music and the voice acting from the original Xenoblade Chronicles that was released on the Wii, and of course, you know, re-released on the 3DS, I have to say that one was better, okay? It's not that this one's terrible, it's just that I like the music in the original one, and for some reason I just like the British voice acting in the original Xenoblade Chronicles, I mean, or the English voice acting in a way, better than the American voice acting. No offense, it's not terrible, it's just I prefer that one over this one though, alright? The second issue is, again, the story is good. Don't get me wrong. It's still a good story. The Xenoblade Chronicles X has a good story, though. But, again... excuse me. Again, I have to say that I prefer the story from the original Xenoblade Chronicles. I mean, I like the idea of how the original one was like two, like, bionic, like, gods fighting each other, and after one final blow, both of them just like stand still, and on one life grew organisms and all, and the other one mechons and machinery though. I mean, I like that plot line better than this one right here. Again, it's not bad or anything, but I just think the original Xenoblade Chronicles storyline, I personally think it's a little bit better than the Xenoblade Chronicles X though. Alright, another thing I will say is that this can be overwhelming. While the game has tons of content for you to explore, ranging from exploring to side missions that puts the story aside, just like other games like Fallout 4 and so on, it can get a little bit overwhelming, and to some degree you can kind of lose track on certain things. Excuse me. Sorry about that. It's evening and all. Okay. I mean, you can easily lose track of a lot of things if you're easily, and you'll find yourself doing some of it, and you pretty much will not pay attention to the story. So it can be a bit overwhelming. Not all right. I mean, but if you sort of balance between the two, between stories and doing some of the side quests, though, it makes it, you can sort of find that middle ground, though. And finally, the biggest criticism I have to say about this game, about Xenoblade Chronicles X, is that there is a learning curve, okay? For those who've played the original one, the one for the Wii and the 3DS, though, you're going to feel right at home easily. For newcomers, that may be a bit difficult, though, mostly because having played a couple of weeks through the game, though, there's barely any tutorial in the game. I mean, it almost feels like the developers were designing this game for people who already played the first one, though, okay? That's fine, but I do think having some tutorial and some sort of tutorial would have been nice to bring people in who just started with the series, because you will get lost very easy with a lot of stuff, especially with the combat, though. So if you're new, you may end up either having to look through the e-manual, e-manual in the game, possibly looking it up on the internet in YouTube, or spending the money to get the Xenoblade Chronicles Player's Guide, though. So you may end up either having to buy this or do what the other two I just said. So the game doesn't, for newcomers, it's going to take a little bit to understand some of this stuff, though, okay? I'm not saying I'm not saying you can't learn it, but it's not going to be, that's one of the big learning curves, because there isn't really a whole lot of tutorial in the game. It almost feels like this game was designed for those who played the original Xenoblade Chronicles, though, okay? I'm not saying that no one can learn it. It's just that's how I felt the game was set up so far, okay? Overall, I do love the game. I really do. Xenoblade Chronicles is a fun RPG, though. I did love the original one when it came out back on the Wii and recently on the 3DS, and I definitely love this new one. I love the whole world and of Mira and so on. The story and the voice acting is good, though. I mean, again, maybe not as good as the original one, but that's my opinion, though. But nevertheless, I will say this. If you own a Wii U, it is worth picking this up. I would highly recommend this game, nevertheless. It's a shame, unfortunately, this game is not getting a good amount of advertisement, though. I really think Nintendo missed an opportunity to advertise this game. I really think it should have gotten a bit more attention than like Mario Maker. I mean, don't get me wrong, Mario Maker deserves some attention, but I think Xenoblade Chronicles would have been great if they did a better job marketing and advertising it much better, though. So I say, if you're an RPG fan or a JRPG fan, or if you like the first one, this is definitely a high recommend. I would recommend you get this game. I've sunk some hours into it, and it still is fun as hell, though. All right. Anyway, that is my review for Xenoblade Chronicles X. What do you think? Are you enjoying the game, or are you not? Is this a game you definitely want to play? Is this a game you're going to play on the Wii U? Spend some time with, though? Do you feel Nintendo could have advertised this game more than what they were advertising it before? Or do you think, no, not really, though? Are you buying a Wii U just for that, or not? Like the video, leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think, if this game's worth your time or not. All right, and as always, I hope you subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this video, okay? And I would like to say, happy holidays to everyone. I am planning to do some more videos. I have to get the time done. I got between work and some other stuff, though, so hopefully I will get to those soon, though. But I do hope you enjoyed this review of Xenoblade Chronicles X, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I did, all right? And I wish you guys a happy holidays, and take care. Bye.